Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is time once again for monthly favorites. This month I have a couple of things to show you that I am totally in love with, and I also have a couple of things that were major fails that I was really bummed about because I had such high hopes for them. So one of those things, well, a couple of those things are from the DesixKaty collection. I thought the Dose of Colors DesixKaty collection, if you're not familiar with that, it was a huge launch on social media with Desi Perkins and Katie, aka Lusterlux. And I bought the whole collection and I was gonna do a whole review and swatches, but everybody and their mother seems to have already done that. So I'm just gonna show you what I liked and kind of what I didn't like as part of this August favorites and fails. So if you want to see what worked and what didn't this past month, then please keep on watching. I'm beginning to realize something, that when I film in a halter style top like this, I have to lower the camera so you guys don't think that I'm naked under here. I feel like in the playback it looks a little weird, like what is she wearing exactly? So I lowered the camera a little bit. Hopefully this will be better and I don't look so awkward. Anyway, let's get to the products. The first product I want to show you is this beauty balm from Trish McEvoy. Trish McEvoy, the brand, was one that I started working for when I first started my career in makeup. Actually, it was the second company that I ever worked for. I started with Laura Mercier, and then about 6 months later, I started working for Trish at the Saks Fifth Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. I was a resident makeup artist for the line for about a year and a half. So using Trish kind of takes me back. I had not used Trish McEvoy for the longest time. You know, you don't see a lot of the brand on social media. It kind of gets pushed to the background, like some of the older, makeup artist lines that launched in the 90s. So anyway, a friend of mine works for Trish McEvoy and contacted me. And this is not a sponsored video. They just sent me a bunch of stuff to try because he knows, number one, that I'm trying to go cruelty-free and Trish is a cruelty-free line. And, you know, why not? He thought, well, I'll send her some stuff. If she likes it, great. If she doesn't, whatever. And there's a bunch of stuff that I'm in the process of trying, but this was one of the first things that I picked up and I absolutely fell in love with it. When I say picked up, I mean like picked up out of the box that he had sent me. So this is a primer brightener. It says it evens your skin tone, hydrates, controls oil, retexturizes, protects, and has a broad spectrum SPF 35. So I thought this will be fantastic. It sounds fantastic. So he sent it to me in shade 1, and I didn't really know anything about this product. And I thought, oh, shade 1, I'm usually like in the light to medium, not fair to light, but it only comes in 3 colors. But this is amazing. This is truly a one-step product for me. I've been using it for about 5 or 6 days now, and it really helps to control the oil in my skin. So it's acting as a primer. I've stopped using a moisturizer, a separate moisturizer altogether, because I feel like with my oily skin, it's enough. And I haven't noticed, any retexturizing just yet. It's too soon, but I love that it has an SPF 35 and it gives a light coverage that's matte, because most tinted moisturizers or BB creams, a lot of them are very dewy, and this one is matte. I'll pump a little bit onto the back of my hand. I love that it has a pump. So shade 1 is not that light. So if you are lighter than me, I'm not so sure how much you would like this, but it has nice light coverage. So many of you already know that I'm not usually one to wear a sheer coverage at all, but there are days that I am just running errands, or this weekend I'm gonna be at the beach and I don't wanna wear a full coverage foundation, but I had never found anything that worked for an oily skin. And this is truly so good. I'm gonna wear it all this weekend when I'm at the beach. I don't go directly in the sun, so if anybody's out there saying, oh, 35 isn't gonna be enough, I understand that. I'm gonna be in the shade, but I'm gonna wear this 35 anyway, because it gives me just enough coverage where the redness is minimized, and it doesn't accentuate my pores, and it doesn't make me greasy. I just can't say enough good things about this. The only downside to this product that I found is the price. I put it in a video of mine last week. I showed it. And then when I went to go list the products, for the links in the description bar, I had to Google it, of course, and I discovered that it's $86. I was a little surprised. I called out from the other room when I was working on my computer to my husband. I'm like, oh no, this is $86. And he said, what is? I'm like, oh, this stuff that I fell in love with. Not that I think that $86 is too much to spend for a product that does so many different things, but I just know that there's a lot of people watching my videos that are on a budget that it's just not gonna happen. $86 for a product, one product isn't gonna happen. But for those of you that this is in your budget, I highly recommend it. I am definitely gonna be repurchasing this when I run out. So next I wanna show you a couple of eyeshadow palettes that I have not been able to put down. The first one is the Unzipped Desert Sunset Eyeshadow Palette from Lorac. So these are the colors and they are so beautiful. So first of all, I love Lorac eyeshadows. They've always been one of my favorite formulas. I haven't always been that enthralled with the Mega Pro palettes, but her original Pro palette and the second one and the Unzipped and now this one, I really, really like this. So if you are a fan of Lorac eyeshadows and you love a warm eyeshadow palette, then I highly recommend this one. Another warm eyeshadow palette that I've been using a lot is this one from NYX. It is called Warm Rust. If you are looking for an affordable dupe of the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, this one would be fantastic. I love everything about this. I love the shimmers. I love that it has a nice transition color, the darker browns. It's so pretty. If you have blue or green eyes, I highly, highly recommend this. It'll pretty much work on everyone, I think, no matter what your eye color. And my go-to blush for the past month has been this one from Dose of Colors called Amaze-Mint from their Mint For You collection. It's the perfect peach blush with just a hint of pink and a hint, very, very, very faint shimmer. So it gives you a very subtle glow. So in case you were wondering, yes, I am currently wearing this blush. So moving on to those Dose of Colors DesixKaty collab items. I really do like the girls eyeshadow palette, and I've been reaching for it a lot, but I didn't put it in my favorites because I feel like it's not something that I'm gonna reach for. I'm using it a lot now because it's like a novelty, but I think that going forward, if I were to choose, I would probably choose the Jouer Skinny Dip palette over the girls palette because there's more options and I just find them easier to use. You don't have to remember which ones are supposed to be used wet and which ones are supposed to be used dry, but it is very pretty. I just don't think it's an absolute must-have, especially if you already have the Jouer Skinny Dip or if you're deciding between the two. So just for reference, this is the girls eyeshadow palette and this is Skinny Dip. So I'm gonna swatch Noli for you. So that's Noli. And this is Tan Lines. So Noli is a lot more gold. So once again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy the girls palette. I'm just saying that in my opinion, this is the better one to go with if you're deciding between the two. And now for the highlighters. One is a favorite and one is a fail. So prior to receiving my order, I was thinking that I was gonna love Fuego more than Mirame because Fuego was, from what I'd seen, supposed to be for lighter skin, and Mirame was supposed to be for someone darker, medium to olive skin. But when I got Fuego, because they came in two separate orders, I wasn't that excited about it. I thought it was a little dry in texture. I'm hoping you can tell that it's very yellow gold. And it came up on my skin as very white. It just wasn't flattering. It was almost like it was too noticeable and not in a good way. So I kind of written it off and thought, bummer, I probably won't like Mirame either. But then when I got this one and I tried it, I like this one a lot better. I know some other reviewers have said that it didn't look good on their lighter skin at all. I am not as fair as I look. I'm about like an NC30 right now, if you're referring to MAC colors. And I like this one. It's kind of hard to explain this color because I think it's coming up gold on camera, but it's a little bit more of a rose gold. And for some reason, it's just more flattering on my skin. So I wouldn't recommend either of these for anyone who has a lot of texture in this area because the highlight is very wet looking and very bold. But if you are someone who does like that, and there are occasions where I really do like that look, then I would recommend whichever one you ultimately decide on. This one though, for me, if you're NC30 or darker, then I would say go with this one. And due to the fact that I didn't buy a ton of new makeup aside from this DesixKaty collection this month, the other fails I have are also, unfortunately, from that collection. I will say this though, I am really enjoying Hot Fire, which is the kind of orangey matte lipstick, and I'll put in a picture of me wearing that. That I really like, but the lipsticks for me were fails. So this is No Shade. And when I swatched it on my hand like I just did, I thought, oh, this could be a very pretty nude on me. But unfortunately, when I went and did that first swipe, it looked like I had put on some light peachy tone concealer on my lips. And not only that, but the formula was a little bit dry. It clung to the patches, the little dry patches on my lips. And I actually had to remove it and then put on some MAC Prep and Prime lip primer first, and it just didn't look very flattering on me. I don't find it that flattering on a lot of people. And to be honest with you, when I saw the photos of Desi and Katy wearing it at their launch party, I felt like it looked a little bit light on Katy, but again, that's just me, and I love makeup, and of course I want to support those girls because they're part of the beauty community, and anything like women in business try to do, I want to be there to support. So I hate that I didn't love these, but there are plenty of people that do love them. But I think that if you're looking for a really good nude from Dose of Colors that might be a little bit more flattering, and I also think the formula is a little bit better because it's a cream versus a matte, it's this one called Poise. As you can see, it's similar, but it has a little bit more depth of color to it, so it doesn't wash you out. Well, at least it doesn't wash me out nearly as much as No Shade does. More Creamer Please was definitely not flattering on me. I know quite a few people have said that it looks kind of orangey, mustardy on them, and I definitely found that to be true on myself. And yes, I understand that this was the nude for a darker skin tone, but I went for it anyway. I'm not really sure why I did, but when I first put it on, I didn't mind it so much. And when I first swatched it, it didn't seem that bad. But when I took some selfies and I looked back at them, it definitely was not a flattering color on me. And then it got worse when I put the over-the-top gloss over the top, because it just pulled more warmth because that gloss is gold. So it really was not cute on me. So that's just partly my skin tone. I actually found this one, I think they're supposed to be the same formula. I think they're both supposed to be mattes, but this one didn't seem nearly as dry matte as No Shade did. Now, lest you think that I love all Charlotte Tilbury products, I have put something in my fails this month from her brand. Someone had told me, one of my viewers told me that I should try the Full Fat Lashes mascara from Charlotte. And I've been wanting to try this mascara for a while because I had heard good things. And the reason why I didn't is because I really struggle to spend $30 on mascara because I use false lashes all the time, and I haven't found one that I think is really worth the price. I basically live off of samples that Sephora gives out or I buy something from the drugstore. Just like I said, I tend to wear individuals or fakes, and in that case, it really doesn't matter what mascara you use as long as you get some darkening and some length from it. But I don't know what possessed me, but I took the plunge and ordered this one with a bunch of other stuff from Beautylish, and I did not love this. It might be one of those instances with a mascara, which I'm sure this has happened to you, where you didn't like it at first, but maybe 2 weeks later it got better. It either gets worse 2 weeks later and gets all clumpy, or it gets better and it becomes more wet. I personally like a more wet formula. This is the brush. So it is the type of brush I usually like. I don't really love the ones that are rubbery. I know some people like that, like the They're Real from Benefit, the rubber bristles, but those have never really worked for me. I like the volume that I get from more of a traditional brush, but this formula is just too dry. I put it on and I get barely any color, barely any length, barely any volume. And like I said, maybe I will love it more in 2 weeks when it kind of softens a little bit, but for now, I am really regretting this purchase. So I hope you all enjoyed this month's favorites and failures. I really love to do these videos. I know I've said that many, many times, but I love sharing with you things that I have discovered that I love and things that maybe didn't work out so well, so maybe I'll save you a little bit of money, save you a little bit of disappointment, but it's all opinion. It's all just my opinion. And especially with that DesixKaty stuff, I hesitated because I know they have such a huge following, and I hesitated to say my real truth because they do have such a following, and I know that their supporters are really, really supportive, which is great. I think that they're awesome. I think that they're sweet girls. I think that they're hardworking girls, and of course they're beautiful and talented. And the thing is, I have to speak my truth, and I have to tell you really what I feel. And yeah, so I think I did that. I think I did that in this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and please follow me on my other social media. I have Facebook, I have Twitter, I have Instagram. All of that is Risa Does Makeup. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you very soon.